denial until the bitter. Howard's still better than you. That's fine. If you like Howard over me or what me and Anthony did, whatever, dude. But he's a phony, and I think that bothers people when I speak honestly about my time at SiriusXM and knowing Howard. He's a big phony, and he's not as brave as you think. He fights a lot of battles behind the scenes. He never took on me and Anthony. He took on pretty much every other radio show. But when it came to taking on me and Anthony back in the day, Howard would cry like a little bitch, and he would get on the phone to Mel Karmazin and our boss, Ken Stevens. My boss wasn't Howard's boss, but he would call my boss to make us stop and yell and scream at him. So that's your hero. So if you want to say he's better than us or better than me, whatever, dude. That's up to you. But you need to know he's a wimp, and he fights a lot of battles behind the scenes. He also called Letterman and basically said, look, I've been good to you over the years. I don't want you having Opie and Anthony on your show anymore. This is a true story. Because the fact is, when me and Anthony were on Letterman, to be fair, it was more Anthony than me. Anthony crushed. I sat there like a dummy for the most part. I was sort of shut out of the conversation. That's a story for another day. But whatever. We were on Letterman. Opie and Anthony crushed it. As soon as we left the stage, all of Letterman's people came running towards us, a couple producers, a writer we knew over there, and they're like, holy shit, that was absolutely awesome. We want to book you guys again in a couple of months. I'm like, that's great. And they started thinking that we can maybe be some kind of a regular thing because we're in New York. Think like Regis Philbin and think like Mad Dog Russo, where they would call last minute because a guest would cancel. So they're thinking, wait, these guys were really good. Let's try to work them into the rotation. And that would probably mean maybe going on a couple times a year. I'm not going to oversell it. It wasn't like we were going to go on weekly or anything like that. And they're like, we're like, great. And they're like, we'll keep in touch. And I'm like, okay. We never heard from them again. And then it came out years later. I can't tell you my source today, but I could back this shit up. It turned out that Howard called in a favor. This is a fact, and told Letterman, I've been good to you over the years. I give you great shows. I give you great ratings. I don't want you having Opie and Anthony on your show anymore. And to David Letterman's fucking pathetic credit, he agreed. He went with it. That's the real Howard. Did he ever mention this on the air? No. Did he ever fight us on the air, toe to toe, like he did with these other like lame ass, weak ass shows? No. But he had no problem getting on the phone and yelling and screaming and making people's days miserable because we were picking on him. We were calling him Hampton's Howie, and he couldn't handle it. That's the real guy right there.